Good morning, folks. My name is Chris Chandler, president at PFL. We hope that everyone had a great weekend. We also hope that you are enjoying our early morning briefing. We do it all for you. We are live 7 a.m. Eastern every Monday. If you are viewing this podcast through our reports and are up at 7 a.m. Eastern on Mondays, please turn in next week live instead. Please like us and follow us on LinkedIn and pass on the good word. We certainly appreciate it, and you could win a PFL Railcar. At the end of every quarter, we have a draw for those that do. We have tank cars, coal cars, hoppers, and box cars to give away this quarter. Our quote this week is from an unknown author who once said, "Why do we only rest in peace? Why do we not live in peace?" So true. Well, folks, may the peace be with you this week. Weekly jobless claims were up week over week. Initial jobless claims for the week ended July 24, 2021 came in at 400,000, which was above analysts' expectations of 380,000 people. The Dow closed lower on Friday of last week, down 149.06 points and down 126.8 points week over week. The S&P 500 closed lower on Friday, down 23.89 points and down 16.53 points week over week. The Nasdaq closed lower on Friday of last week, down 105.59 points and down 164.31 points week over week. In overnight trading, Dow futures traded higher and are expected to open up this morning 172 points. Oil posted its fourth straight monthly gain as steady demand and tight supplies calmed concerns that a new wave of COVID-19 infections would cripple energy consumption. WTI for September delivery rose 33 cents to settle at $73.95 a barrel on Friday of last week. U.S. commercial crude inventories decreased by 4.1 million barrels week over week. U.S. crude inventories are 7% below the 5-year average for this time of year. Total motor gasoline inventories decreased by 2.3 million barrels week over week and are at par with the 5-year average for this time of year. Distillate fill inventories decreased by 3.1 million barrels week over week and are 7% below the 5-year average for this time of year. Propane and propylene inventories increased by 1.9 million barrels week over week and are 14% below the 5-year average for this time of year. Propane inventories in the U.S. are dangerously low. We are projected to go into this year's winter with just under 80 million barrels of propane in storage, well below the 100 million barrels that we went into last year's heating season with. Expect some price spikes in propane, folks, either now or later. Otherwise, pray for drier crops coming off the fields during harvest or a warmer than normal winter. U.S. crude oil imports averaged 6.5 million barrels a day, a decrease of 600,000 barrels per day week over the past 4 weeks. Crude oil imports averaged 6.4 million barrels per day, 6.9% more than the same 4-week period last year. U.S. crude oil inputs averaged 15.9 million barrels per day during the week ended July 23, 2021, which was 132,000 barrels a day less than the previous week's average. Refineries operated at 91.1% of their operable capacity last week. Oil is lower in overnight trading, and WTI is expected to open at $73.21, down 74 cents a barrel from Friday's close. Total North American rail volumes were up 4.6% year over year in week 29, resulting in quarter-to-date volumes that are up 2.5% year over year and year-to-date volumes that are up 11.2% year over year. 8 of 11 of AR's major traffic corridors posted year-over-year increases, with the largest coming from metallic ores, which were up 31.6%, and coal, which was up 15.4%. The largest decrease came from motor vehicles and parts that were down 28.4%. North America rig count is up by 1 rig week over week. The U.S. rig count was down by 3 rigs week over week, but up by 237 rigs year over year. The U.S. currently has 488 active rigs. Canada's rig count was up by 4 rigs week over week and up by 108 rigs year over year. And Canada's overall rig count is up by 153 active rigs year over year. We're collectively up 345 rigs. A few things that we're keeping an eye on. Folks, we are keeping an eye on Alberta. Canadian heavy fell hard on Friday of last week, with WCS closing at minus 14.45 per barrel against WTI. Today represents the first day of the trading cycle, so we'll be keeping an eye on basis numbers. The reason for the drop was Enbridge rejected some 54% of its August nominations, leaving more supply stranded. The wider the basis, the better economics for crude by rail. Stay tuned to PFL for further details. Railcar Scrapping. PFL was quoted in Argus Petroleum Transportation North America's newsletter on Friday of last week in regards to its participation of the tremendous amount of railcar scrapping going on in the country right now, as record steel prices, government incentives have urged some to get rid of unwanted cars and reload with newer ones. Prices for August are expected to be out on this Wednesday of this week, and PFL will advise all new pricing as it becomes available. Hopefully we get lucky and we move even higher. In the meantime, please see PFL's July pricing that was just rolled off the board. We pay cash for rail cars at all types at various locations throughout the U.S. See PFL's rail report for further details. The reading of PFL's rail report today is a must. Not only do we go into more detail into the items discussed in today's podcast, but summarize the latest petroleum by rail numbers, have July scrap prices for you to review, and coal is on fire, folks, like it or not. Read it in PFL's rail report today. That's all for this week's podcast. We hope it was helpful for you and hope that you have a great, safe week, and we will see you next Monday. PFL has been extremely active in railcar storage, return on lease strategies, subleasing, mobile repair, and cleaning. Make sure to check out our just posted reports at pflpetroleum.com and call us anytime to troubleshoot. Of course, our phone number is 239-390-2885. Have a fantastic week, folks, and thank you. And be safe.